All right, guys, I don't know exactly what this event is. I heard my intel is that there is a patriotic truck parade, a vehicle parade from Portland area down I-5 to Salem Capitol here. And then I've seen reports that Antifa all the way from Seattle down to Eugene are coming out here to counter protest. Are there any right-wingers down here at the Capitol so far, you guys? Got a snack van over there handing out shields. So far, this looks like all Antifa. I'm only seeing people in black bloc, and I don't see any right-wing or patriot types. It's a pajama brigade there. So they haven't re-blocked up.
Oh, you're not streaming, are you?
Yeah, I'm streaming.
We requested no streaming. So I mean, if you want to do like record, like you do clips later, but I'm not trying to do streaming. You know what I mean?
That's cool. We're in a public place. I'm gonna stream. So I did see a lot of things online saying that they were claiming streamers weren't allowed. When is the state government going to step in about the kind of thing where people are being intimidated in public places? There's Richard there.
Get out of his car at a stoplight and come past me.
So we'll see what happens today. So there's a squeaky guy there. I'm trying to tell people I'm a cop or something, but I'm not. There's the rapper guy. Michelle says, tell that guy I have a right to be here and see what's going on. I will not allow this intimidation, brown cert Nazi. Yeah, it's crazy. If people think they can show up in front of the Capitol and tell people they can't film in a public place, they're getting pretty brazen. So, for those of you that are just chiming in, this is the Oregon State Capitol. Today there's supposedly a right-wing event. There was a car parade from Portland, Oregon area down I-5 to the state capitol. And then there was a left-wing event opposing that. They don't want fascism at the state capitol. So.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, Dustin?
Good.
Yep.
By the way, if you see this man, he goes by villain report. Villain report is not welcome anywhere around us because, as we know, he's feeding direct live information to his people. Villain was also in D.C. on both occasions. The villain was also in Salem. Villain perpetuates a lot of the violence to his streamers that we feel in Portland, that we feel that he labeled as Antifa. Say it the real fucking way, anti-fascist, dummy. Say it out loud, villain. Anti-fascist.
I have a clear record of
what?
of speaking against violence, stopping violence,
No,
and,
you don't.
and protecting
No, you don't.
people from violence on
Hey,
both sides.
No. That black couple.
I have a clear documented history of protecting people on both sides from violence. I have pulled out Antifa from several times. You're gonna assault me on camera?
I'm gonna throw my coffee in your face.
I have protected people on both sides from violence. I have protected Antifa in DC. I have protected Antifa here at the Capitol.
You have perpetuated more violence against
I
me.
have not.
Bullshit.
I am anybody that's seen my stuff knows that I'm nonviolent. I will push charges on you if you throw hot coffee on me.
It's not hot.
That ain't Antifa shit. What the fuck did you just say? You just said you're gonna press charges on him?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm not
You
Antifa.
fucking cops? You
Get
fucking
the
lame?
fuck
Get the
away.
fuck out of here.
Get the
You
fuck.
just said you would call the cops on him. You're
Away.
a fucking little.
I said I press charges.
Get the fuck.
That's the same
Outta
shit,
here.
you fucking lame.
Get the fuck out of here, villain. Get the fuck out of here. You know what you do.
This is
You
a
know who
public
you
place.
support. No, there's no dividing line between us.
Doesn't matter what place.
There's no fucking dividing line between us.
So, you're just assaulted by a group of Antifa up there. Very, very hostile. You can't even stand up there and film right now. Plenty of the officers saw that. They saw them chasing me out. Once the officers saw that, they started driving away from the scene instead of to the scene. So, this is happening more and more in the Pacific Northwest and in cities across the country where gangs dressed in gang clothing are allowed to just congregate in public places, threaten people, and attack people. This has been growing to this point for about 4 years once they started getting a little bit emboldened after the Trump election. Nothing's being done to stop them. Several more years of this is going to go on, and it's going to get more intense, and it's going to get worse. So if there's any group of people that don't believe in that kind of behavior happening, you're welcome to come down here and give me some security and give me some numbers so that I can go back in there and film. They were trying to throw sticks behind my back. Louise, one of the leaders of Antifa, was walking really close to me, trying to put his feet behind my feet, trying to get me tripped while I was walking backwards. They were throwing branches behind me, sticking their feet behind me. Yeah, Dustin needs to be behind bars for life. Yeah, he's inciting violence. He's inciting riot. He's inciting attack by mobs of people towards individuals. That stuff needs to be put on criminal punishment. Anyways, got a group of about 100 to 200 black bloc Antifa in front of the Oregon State Capitol. You saw what little you could see because my stream was messed up. They also unplugged my my body cam. People were trying to rob my equipment off me. The big man, the heavy-set man in black bloc, they came up and told me not to stream with at the start. He came up and slapped my phone and my gimbal out of my hand. I slammed my phone onto the ground. It's just getting crazy. These people need to be arrested. I mean, I'm all for protest and gathering, but I mean, if it needs to be done secretly in the middle of the day in front of the Capitol and you attack people to stream, you need to go get some criminal charges on you for that. I don't see why this stuff's being allowed to happen. So this is as close as I can get right now without being attacked by the mob. I think it didn't show on my camera because the screen was froze because people were trying to call me while I was trying to stream. But I started getting close to a street corner after being forced out of the area by that mob that was assaulting me, threatening me. And I started getting close to a Salem police cruiser, one of the silver ones. And once they saw me coming towards their way, he drove the opposite way and drove down the street away from the Capitol. You ask me why I don't back the blue or think the thin blue line is a good thing. It's the police are not for justice. They're not for what's right and wrong in society and protecting the rights of the individuals. Time and time again, we've seen at these events where police turn their eyes and let these black bloc individuals commit crimes, assault people, and just commit chaos, and they don't do anything about it. And you see, look at all the people that are getting charges pressed against them. Look at the people that are conservative or right wing or call themselves patriots or that. Look at how many of them that have been prosecuted with crimes or charged with crimes and then get prosecuted and are sitting in jail. Look at the percent of that compared to the percent of the people that are doing the same on the liberal left side. There's clearly a political bias in prosecution in all this, and it's just insane. And then the percentage of crimes one side is doing to the amount of prosecution they're getting is insane. It's just nonsense. I don't even know what to think about how to interacting with these people sometimes, because you see me interview Dustin one-on-one, and he can be reasonable and he can talk about his past, but he gets in front of a mob and he tries to get people hurt and he starts spreading lies and slander. It's just crazy. Telling people that I've hurt people or I've tried to get people hurt is just frankly not true. Anybody has seen any of my content, you know that I'm the first one there in the brunt of things, trying to protect people from getting hurt and trying to call people off of resorting first to violence. You guys have seen, if you watch any of this, you can see time and time again, Antifa will show up and they will attack any opposition to their beliefs instantly and hurt people, attack people, and the police generally just watch it and don't do anything about it. And then the minute the same thing happens on the other side, where Antifa comes up and often provokes people at their own protests on a conservative side, the police will swoop in pretty quick and start arresting people on the right. I don't know how to stop that kind of stuff. I think that a lot of our politicians and people in public office need to be arrested and spend jail time. I think Commie Mike, the DA of Portland, Multnomah County, that guy needs to go to jail. Like, I just don't understand how he's allowed to hold that position and then just make a mockery of the court system in America. So I had heard that this was possibly only going to be an event to lure Antifa here to look like dummies, and that the conservative patriot crowd actually wasn't going to do a rally here. I'm just so tired of this. I'm sure there's some police watching this. What are you guys doing? Salem police, police that are at this event in the area from Salem and Oregon State Police and the surrounding areas that get called in. How can you look at your position and look at your job and look at the supposed figure of authority that you hold and take it seriously when the cops are allowing this stuff to go on, allowing people to be attacked in broad daylight, allowing for mobs of people to attack others? How do you guys live with that? How do you guys keep collecting your paycheck and not resigning from your job? I mean, if it's out of your control and you're not allowed to enforce the law, what's the point of keeping your job? Why are you keeping a job then? If you're not going to uphold the law, what's the point in keeping your job? How do you do that and be just and righteous in doing that? Because the police often make the innocent or the good guys out to be the bad ones. But anyways, so here in Salem, Oregon at the state capitol, yes, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm safe. I got attacked by people lightly. They tried to jack my gear up. Everything's good now, so. Anyway, so that was the state trooper that was parked at the corner. I believe it could be another vehicle, a similar vehicle, but he was parked at the corner right up here. And as the mob was chasing me out, we were walking towards him, and he turned and drove away in the other direction. It's just, call me crazy, but I have a hard time taking support the police kind of stuff seriously at all when they continually watch crimes happen in the Pacific Northwest or arrest and tackle and prosecute the victims of crimes. I can't take that stuff seriously. You wave a thin blue line at this flag at this point, or back to blue flag at this point. It's just like, how am I supposed to take that seriously? They're agents of the state. So I'm just gonna sit here or stand here, and 2 blocks away from where 100 to 200 Antifa are and dressed in black. You know, I don't know if you could hear or what you could see on my stream after they started attacking me, but they're now telling us that Dustin and the crowd was trying to force me to say anti-fascist rather than saying Antifa, which is it's just so ridiculous. They're so controlling, literally trying to control your speech and frame your mind on the topics of conversation, which is a leftist tact. Rick Schultz and a $50 super chat, thanks. Hey, Cheese Chris Virgin, glad you're okay. Rick introduced me to a thing called a cheese crisp. It's like a tortilla, like a one-sided tortilla, like a little crunchy thing. Pretty good. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate that. But yeah, so I got chased out, surrounded. Several of them were trying to trip me. Luis, I can't remember his last name, Martez or whatever his last name is, was walking right beside me and rubbing up against me, trying to get his foot behind my foot and trip me backwards. And then when I told him to stop doing that, I'm not doing that, don't touch me, don't touch me. How is our society like this? How is this society like this? How is this like this? That little kids are like, I wasn't touching you, stop looking at me. How is that stuff taken seriously today? Like, why isn't that crowd being arrested en masse? You've seen the police started doing that. Police blocked in a whole crowd up in Portland in the Pearl District a couple weeks ago on the 13th, and identified and documented them all without their masks. Down in LA the other night, I'm not sure how many they arrested, but they stopped the whole crowd, told the whole crowd of a couple hundred black blocs that they weren't free to go and they were all under arrest. This is not a protest. Like, these people are the useless, the idiot masses that communist regimes use to destabilize the society, because it makes people that really would gather and organize and protest to change their society in good ways, it makes them think this is what protest is, where they attack anybody that disagrees with them, or they stop people from trying to film them in a public place. If they're really trying to change society for good, why can't people film it in public? CIA here still fighting the fight, stay strong. CIA 1776 cents, $10 super chat. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. So crazy. It's like, hey, we're requesting that nobody streams here today, okay? It's just a request, but we're gonna beat you up if you don't comply with the request. It's just so crazy. More and more our laws and our politicians are punishing law-abiding citizens and excusing law-offending citizens, letting the prisoners out of jail, taking the rights away from law-abiding citizens, criminalizing them in every possible way. Let me see. 2002 says, dumb to go alone. You're watching though right now, aren't you? You're watching, and you wouldn't have seen any of that happen unless I walked in there alone. It's so crazy that members of Antifa like Dustin that have committed crime after crime after crime and incited riot, participated in riot, incited mobs and participated in mobs, attacked people, incited attacks, are calling other people domestic terrorists. It's just, it's insane. It's that doublethink to where society starts criminalizing those trying to be virtuous and victimizing those that are criminals. Think about that, guys. Think about just what happened. Like, I walked in there, assaulted no one, disrespected nobody. Even while they were attacking me, I wasn't disrespecting people or trying to attack them. And the police just watched it happen. I was filming a public event and the police just watched it happen. Did you guys notice the guy that calls himself No Shoes told me he had love for me as he was like with the mob chasing me out? Is today Palm Sunday? It's interesting that they have this big black mass gathering on Palm Sunday. I have no respect anymore for the law or for the government or for police officers. I've got no respect for them. This stuff's been going on for like a year now. It's getting ridiculous. You guys say this, the police officers in the city are different than the rural cops. Did you see the rural cops in Sandy, Oregon, trying to remove me from the public event last week? But I stood my ground and told them I hadn't done anything wrong. It was a public event. I had the right to be there. I stood for my rights, and they let me alone. But they were trying to force me out of the area, even though I was the one being attacked. They don't give me that rural versus urban cop thing. I think the government likes it when the citizens are stopped from filming, because then the only people that have film are the criminals that aren't going to show it, or the government, it gets to use it however they want. If none of the cops in Oregon are allowed to do their jobs, those cops should quit. It's otherwise they're just taking taxpayer money without providing work for it. I remember in New York City like 10 years ago, 2 officers watched somebody attacking and I think almost nearly killed or actually killed somebody on the subway, and they just stayed on the other side of the window and watched it. And the city ruled that officers do not have an obligation to put themselves in harm's way to protect or to serve. It's just crazy, because I'm like one of the few people that's not part of Antifa that's calling for compassion on Antifa. There are a lot of messed up young people who are just angry and tormented. It doesn't excuse what they're doing, but at the same time, you can have compassion on them. You don't have to hate them. You can hold people accountable to justice and law without having to attack them or hate them. You can see the rally in the end of my screen. The Antifa mob is up there 2 blocks up. It's right in the center of the screen by those cherry blossoms on the left. About 100 to 200 of them there. Looks like more keep showing up. So for those of you that don't know what's going on, it's a very boring stream right now. I showed up, I don't know, what's it like 40 minutes ago or so, 45 minutes ago. And I walked in, I'm dressed in black bloc, started filming. The minute I walked into the area, an Antifa member walks up to me. Ruben sends me $10 super chat for bread. Thanks, man. The minute I walked in the area, a very large, heavy-set man in black bloc walked up to me and told me there was no streaming allowed today. And he acted like it was. I got a car parked right next to me with the guy that drove up about 20 minutes ago is just watching me. The Antifa organization is so full of so many contradictions and just hatred. They claim to be protesting, but they attack people and they don't want their protests documented. When other people are protesting, they openly come and attack. That's what they're here for today. They're here to stop the fash, is what they're saying, is that they won't allow right-wing beliefs or conservative beliefs to have a protest. That's what they're here for today. They think that there's going to be a right-wing protest in the Capitol, and they're here to stop them from being able to protest. Like, I'm a person that doesn't trust the state, and I don't believe in the validity of the state, especially when it grows into out of control and gets massive power and centralizes that power. The government needs to be as small as possible to keep gangs from becoming the government. But I also know that truly anarchy doesn't work. It just creates a vacuum to where gangs come to power. But I just don't know. I'm still trying to learn all this stuff and come to conclusions about all this kind of stuff in my own life. But is there any form of government that isn't just a gang taking power? I don't know. I think a lot of the intentions of the American Constitution, the formation of America, was for free people, but there's a lot of muddiness in that. Kevin Smith says anarcho right, question mark, laugh out loud. There is an anarcho right. It's pretty close to libertarianism. You could even call libertarianism kind of anarcho-capitalist, but that's what you call the anarchist right, is the anarcho-capitalist. It's the denial of the validity of the authority of government. There's a patrol of Antifa walking around the Capitol with their black flags. Wendy's Wonderful World says, welcome home. Thank you, Wendy. $20 super chat. Appreciate that. Thank you. So there's Antifa patrol circle in the building. She's a little petty tyrant, said, like, oh, did you guys see? So Andy No posted a little clip on his YouTube of an open discussion, online discussion with Ted Wheeler and some other people. And there's an Antifa guy, I assume, they called in, he was pro riots, and he was saying like, oh, spray paint happened and vandalism happened all throughout history. You know, it's like one of his justifications for it. But if you haven't seen it, it's one of the last posts on Andy No's YouTube channel that he posted up. You should watch it. Just like, and for once, I was like 100% in agreement with Ted Wheeler's response. And he said, because the Antifa guy kept saying stuff along the lines of like, did you even listen to our demands and what we're asking and our requests? And then Ted asked him, he's like, well, are you really asking me to listen to them, or are you asking me to agree with them? Because I don't agree with them, and I have listened to them, and I'm not going to defund the police. I'm not going to step down from my position I was elected to. Even though I don't agree with Ted Wheeler, and I wish that he was not a politician or a person in power or with public office in anywhere on earth, I really thought he nailed it. And that clip shows how petty those little arguments are, man. Like you're not listening to us, and they mean that you're not agreeing with us and doing what they say. So we're gonna vandalize and spray paint things and cause destruction because you're not listening to us, because you're not doing what we say. His name says, I said that. So character matters. Says no rulers, but there's still rules. As fuck. But that's actually what anarchy is. A lot of these people that run around, put the little anarchist costumes on, spray paint things, think that anarchy is no rules. Anarchy means no rulers, but there are rules. You self-govern each other, and those that break the social contract are reprimanded by the group. Anarchy doesn't mean no rules, it means no rulers. Nobody gets to tell you what to do against what's right. Nobody has authority over you other than yourself. Cincy Snow, I think is the name. You're a future conservative. I was a liberal for 20 plus years and just recently saw the light. You're slowly becoming red-pilled and don't even know it. I don't think so. I was a bleeding heart liberal somewhat, because I grew up in oops. I'm gonna go off stream for a second. I'll come back in a